Be careful where you wander. Following the track into Carnarvon Gorge, Queensland, to the river crossing my partner was leading and crossed first. The track leads up a rugged rock staircase on the opposite side into Violet Gorge and the Moss Garden. An almost indescribable atmosphere surrounded me as I stepped through the river. Dizzy, the sandstone cliffs spinning above me, I felt as if I was losing my grip on life. Voices came from every direction. An oppressive force weighed down on me as I swayed in the middle of the river, barely able to stand. It was difficult to breathe. It felt like I was being pushed, pulled, and shaken slowly by an unseen force in a rage. It was like looking through uneven bubbled glass, similar to an old fishbowl. I could still see my partner on the other side. I couldn't speak, but in my mind, I was screaming for help. 3 faces appeared floating around me inside the bubble, slightly transparent but vivid in detail. An older and younger man, dressed like cattlemen of early days, their eyes focused on the ground. An older warrior, aboriginal man, stared at me. Images faded slowly in and out. I felt disoriented. The white sandstone cliffs hovered above, threatening to crumble. The warrior seemed angry, pointing, saying it was my fault. I had to make it right. Make what right? I didn't know. Although none of these images' mouths moved, I could clearly hear them. A floating image of stampeding cattle above the cliff line on the Violet Gorge seemed to upset the cattlemen. Only minutes had passed. The space around me cleared. My head pounding, we continued further, then headed back. A butterfly followed me back along the track, leading me along. It was joined by others. Still dazed, I felt as though I was lifted from the ground. My feet were light on the ground. I felt propelled at speed down the track and over the crossing. My partner can attest to the speed at which I descended, especially considering my deteriorating state of health. My mind and bleary eyes told me that at least 2 dark, thin, warrior-looking aboriginal men were carrying me in the chairlift of their arms, one on either side. I was still feeling propelled on the other side, as many different screaming birds challenged my path, chasing me back along the track, screaming as if desperate to get rid of me. They stopped halfway back, but kept up with a barrage of insults before melting into the forest. Butterflies continued to flit along the track, guiding me or making sure I left by the right path. My mind and body seemed to come back to me, and then I was hit with a massive headache. On reaching the car park, I was vomiting and seriously ill. Panic attack dismissed. Dreams and waking moments have since been filled with this vision and its meaning.